What to expect from President Joe Biden's first full day in the White House. Plus, authorities search for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM. And a Coffeyville football coach has died of COVID-19 complications.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Chris Warner. Coming up this half hour, a Pitt State track and field athlete has been named the Division II National Athlete of the Week, and Joe Biden was sworn in as the nation's 46th president yesterday. And for our morning talker, we're asking, did you watch the inauguration yesterday? And how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration? You can participate in our Insta poll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. But before we do any of that, here's a check of our forecast.
We're sitting around waiting for some patchy fog to develop over the four states. Haven't got to that point yet from the Freeman Health System sky camera. Still looking pretty clear. And temperature is very mild for a early morning January. 41 degrees, a little wind chill of 36, but that humidity is sitting at 89%. That'll be a key factor for today. Mostly cloudy skies are staying on the dry side. All of that rain that skirted out of Texas has already made its way past the Boot Heel and into parts of the Appalachians. 41 in Miami, 31 in Parsons. Let's roll 37 right now in Stockton and Nevada as the wind continues to come in from the southwest, and that's why we get one more day of abnormally warm temps. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine here, but then the clouds, they reemerge. And nice thing about that, and once again, overnight lows hard to beat. Now, we do have some developments on the horizon, really going to kick in the beginning of next week. We're going to ride into the weekend here. Low 50s, high 40s. I mean, I'm telling you, we are getting spoiled here this January.
We are, but I don't like those developments on the horizon.
You, Chris in particular, is not a fan of Monday.
No, I'm not a fan of Monday at all. That bouncing stuff on there, you can just delete that.
When you see that, you go, oh, looks like we're going to close out January in fine fashion.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, it wouldn't be a January without something like that, right?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to look at average high temperature right now. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting top 10 all time for February.
Okay, I can deal with that, I suppose. I'll deal with it. Michael, thank you so much. Well, President Joe Biden begins his first full day in the White House today as the nation's 46th president. In his inauguration speech yesterday, President Biden focused on the need for unity after the U.S. Capitol riots and as the nation struggles with the coronavirus. Some students at Pittsburgh State University are embracing President Biden's inauguration message of unity, hoping the country will move forward. The Office of Student Diversity have had the inauguration ceremonies on television all day, so students could watch between classes. Several students tell us they're excited to see what the new administration does to improve race relations and bring the country together. They were also excited to see Vice President Kamala Harris make history by becoming the first Black Asian American woman to hold office.
It's such a huge groundbreaking moment for us to witness history.
It just shows that even in 2021, we are still breaking ground, but we still have a lot of work to do. Again, I felt very hopeful today. I felt very excited about what is to come.
A Neosho, Missouri man dies in a single vehicle wreck last night. It happened around 9, about 6 miles west of Neosho. Missouri Highway Patrol says 40-year-old Jeremiah Durbin was heading west on Old US 60 when his vehicle left the right side of the road, hit a tree, and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities are looking for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM while on furlough by a judge. Police say Benjamin Whitaker escaped from made it out of Montgomery County, Kansas after being released on furlough. Now, he's also a person of interest after police in Parsons, Kansas found an ATM chained to a pickup truck near the Labette Bank on Main Street. Police say the truck was reported stolen earlier along with 2 guns. Now, Whitaker is considered armed and dangerous. Police say an undisclosed amount of cash was stolen from the ATM. And as states move into the next steps of their COVID vaccine rollout plans, a lot of people have questions about how to get the vaccine and where to go. In Missouri, the state has set up a website that provides a map of vaccine providers in your area. When it comes to making an appointment, it depends on the provider. However, most have online registration available, but officials say it's not as simple as it seems because there's no vaccine available right now.
It's a waiting game, but with the anticipation that more vaccine will become available as the supply chains increase.
We've got links to contact information and resources regarding vaccines in this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri Southern's Board of Governors met yesterday to discuss projects around the school, including a plan to repair and reopen the Taylor Performing Arts Center. The board wants the project to be listed as a critical priority and to add the remediation of the balcony stairwell to the project. The board also talked about the possibility of adding new degree programs.
Over the past few years, we have really focused on developing certificates, so companion certificates, which are 3 to 5 classes in a related area that students can stack on top of their baccalaureate degrees. And we've also focused a lot on development of new graduate degrees, master's degrees.
The board hopes that with state support, the Performing Arts Center will reopen in 2022. Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the loss of Aaron Flores, the head football coach of Coffeyville Community College. Officials say Flores passed away from COVID-19 complications. He was 50 years old. It is 5:07.
All right, our temp's going to be back down around freezing tonight. That's what I was looking at. But we're going to stay on the dry side for today. Clouds kind of coming and going. We're pretty locked in right now. We'll get a little peek of afternoon sunshine, though. Big development this morning. I want everybody to be apprised of. It's yet to develop, but we are anticipating patchy morning fog till about 8-9 a.m.
All right, thank you so much. That is a look at this morning's top stories and weather, all in the first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a new administration.
President Joe Biden wasted little time getting right to work after being inaugurated as the nation's 46th president. I'm Deborah Alfrone in Washington with details on his first few initiatives, plus his message to the country.
Plus, a Pitt State athlete gets national recognition. We'll have details. And a look into new coronavirus screening tool that has already helped prevent an outbreak in a 4-state nursing home. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Last night's semifinal night for the girls bracket at the Southeast Lancer Classic. In the first game, you had a CNC team against a Tri-Valley team. It's Baxter Springs on the floor, aiming to knock off top-seeded Erie. Slow first quarter. In the second, we got action. Abby Burgraff. Corner 3, Lions grab a quick lead, but Erie closes out the half strong. Skylar Clevenger, nice look to Alex Pasquarelli. And Clevenger going to shoot this one. Team high 18 for her. Red Devils go into the half. 7-point advantage to the third quarter. Riley Brandt. Splash. Then off the miss, Maddie Kramer. 11 second half points for Kramer down low. Erie pulls away and wins at 55-39. Other side of the bracket, pair of teams out of Joplin, McCully and College Heights. Kaylee Teeter on the break for the Warriors. Teeter ties it up early. Other end, it's Jaylee Johnson. She pulls up, buries the 3. College Heights up 6 going into the second quarter. In that aforementioned second, McCully trying to hang around. Kennedy Drury straight to the rim of the bucket. But the Cougars able to extend that halftime lead. Addie Lawrence launching. College Heights up 13 at halftime. Cougars win at 46-37. They get Erie in the tournament championship. Pitt State's Haven Lander named the Division II National Track and Field Athlete of the Week after winning her first pole vault competition of the season over the weekend. Our own Jacob Leonard shows us how it's a great start for Lander, who's looking for national championship number 3 this season.
After the pandemic ended her junior season early, Pitt State's Haven Lander is ready to get back on top.
I definitely, when we got back here, I pushed myself very, very hard, tried to get the motivation back up to get to where I am.
With everything that happened last year, you could go one of 2 ways. You could lose motivation, or it motivates even more. And I think she's taken the latter part of it to where she's even more motivated.
Lander is a 2-time national champion in the pole vault. She opened up the indoor season on Saturday with a first-place finish in her first event in nearly a year.
It definitely boosted my confidence a little bit. I was honestly having a little bit of troubles in the beginning of the year, kind of building that confidence back up, because obviously we haven't competed in so long.
Lander cleared 13 feet, 3.75 inches on Saturday. That mark is the best in Division II this season and automatically qualifies her for nationals at the end of the year.
It allows us to focus a little bit more technically, not have to worry about doing certain things, and we can kind of go back to making sure we're getting ourselves ready.
Now that I know that I'm going to be able to go to nationals, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going back and showing that what happened last year doesn't matter. I'm still the same me, and I'm going to jump as best as I can.
For her performance, she earned national recognition as the Division II Track and Field Athlete of the Week, something she hopes is the first step on her way back to the top.
Seeing especially that was the first female athlete to ever get it for Pitt State, it was awesome. Just seeing that I was the one that was chosen for it when there's so many other amazing athletes out there, it just makes me really grateful that I'm able to do what I can do.
It's special just for a Pitt State athlete. Anytime we can get the exposure and our kids do well, it's great to see it, and that's what we're proud of.
Definitely makes me hungry for more and makes me want to achieve more things like that.
Pitt State's next meet this weekend. It'll be on the road in Washburn. Webb City standout pitcher Hayden Berry going to play MIAA softball as she announced her commitment to go to the University of Central Missouri. Berry, an all-conference and all-district pitcher for Webb City, earned COC Player of the Year honors each of the last 2 seasons. She led the Cards to a runner-up finish in the state tournament last fall. Patrick Mahomes appears to be on his way to recovery as the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback seen on the team's practice field on Wednesday. Mahomes is under supervision after suffering an injury in the AFC divisional game over the weekend. The Super Bowl MVP participating is what his coach calls limited practice. NFL protocol requires certain steps to be taken by players who may have suffered a concussion. Mahomes is not showing any signs of concussion, but is under that protocol as a precaution. Chiefs scheduled to play the Buffalo Bills Sunday for the AFC Championship. Not yet known if Mahomes will be cleared to play in that game. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, reaction from world leaders as Joe Biden officially becomes the President of the United States. And a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Right at 5:17, great time for some Thursday morning weather on the 7s. Heavy cloud cover. We're more concerned with what's developing underneath the clouds because we're starting to see patchy fog, seriously reduced visibility numbers, especially in the northwest right there below a mile in both Chanute and Iola. Looking pretty good out to the portions of southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. Now we're seeing Parsons drop down below 2 miles. Ooh, I just saw Independence there, 1/10 of a mile. So just be apprised of that situation because the fog is going to continue to grow until about 8, 9 o'clock. Freeman Health System sky camera in Joplin, 41 degrees is where we stand. We do have a little bit of a wind chill in effect, only feels like it's 36 right now. These are true temperatures. Cooler up where we're seeing the fog. Usually it's the opposite. A whole bunch of 40s over here in Carthage and Neosho. Miami also at 41. Wind is going to keep moving in from the southwest. Not as bad as what it was yesterday. We'll just go the 5 to 10 variety. And then we start to see a little shift right there as we head toward the weekend. As far as those wind chill numbers go, not really anything too impressive. We've got a 29 right now in Independence, but still able to go mid-30s in Lamar and in Carthage. For the bus stop forecast, sunrise officially over Joplin at 7:28. Mostly cloudy. It's going to be a while before we get a little peak of sunshine as we still see a large split in the jet stream just on the other side of the Rockies right there, but it's taken all the rain, already shifted it to the mid-Atlantic. So we're going to be dry here next couple of days on Future Track. Really no worries. And our temperatures, if not seasonable, even just a little bit above normal for this time of year as we head into the weekend. A look at the 7-day forecast shows you it's really going to be the end of January where we get a whole lot of developments. That's going to be next week because we've got everything kicking in from rain and a cold front with a chance to bring us some snow and then chilly overnight temps. So, like I said, can't complain about the weekend ahead. Time now to turn our attention to the KOAM News Now Facebook page as Joseph Robinette Biden sworn in as the nation's 46th president. At 78 years old, he's the oldest to ever take the oath of office. Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with details of the new president's challenge to the American people.
So help me God.
President Joe Biden called for unity in his inaugural address.
Let's begin to listen to one another again, hear one another, see one another, show respect to one another. Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire.
Declaring democracy has prevailed, the 46th president denounced the divisions that led to the storming of the U.S. Capitol just 2 weeks earlier.
We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue.
President Trump broke from tradition and did not attend the ceremony, while his Vice President Mike Pence joined former Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama in welcoming the new administration.
Being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it.
President Biden wasted no time getting right to work, signing a number of executive orders from the Oval Office.
Help change the course of the COVID crisis, and we're going to combat climate change in a way that we haven't done so far, and advance racial equity and support other underserved communities.
The new president reversed some of his predecessor's actions, stopping construction of the border wall, ending the so-called Muslim travel ban, and rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement.
Kamala Davy Harris.
Kamala Harris became the first woman, the first black person, and first person of South Asian descent to become vice president.
Congratulations.
Harris later swore in 3 new senators, giving Democrats full control of Congress. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden says President Trump left him a letter, as is tradition. Biden did not go into details about it, other than saying it was very generous. Our question on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our Insta poll: did you watch the inauguration yesterday, and how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration? You can either log on, let us know your comments, or take part in our Insta poll. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Health Watch next.
For 45 years.
Topping Health Watch this morning, there's a new product that's helping healthcare providers fight COVID-19, and the company making it is based in Parsons, Kansas. In fact, the new coronavirus screening tool has already helped prevent an outbreak in a 4-state nursing home. KOAM's Mike Mahoney has the story.
Morningstar Care Homes in Neodesha, Kansas is one of many senior living facilities that's always looking for new ways to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Something that we've never experienced before, for sure, and it's been rough, but we've put in many different check-in points and things that we do to ensure their safety.
They've found success and an increased sense of safety by using a new product out of Parsons, Kansas. Sensible Solutions has created a scratch and sniff card that is helping facilities like Morningstar sniff out possible coronavirus cases.
The scratch and sniff tests have shown that people are asymptomatic with every other symptom. They don't have fever, they don't have a cough, they don't have shortness of breath, but they suddenly realize they've lost their sense of smell, or their sense of smell has changed in some way.
Morningstar staff says those cards have already helped them identify an employee with COVID-19.
They were very grateful. The prior day, able to smell, and the day they tested positive, couldn't smell any of it.
Facilities like Morningstar house some of the country's most vulnerable residents. And with these pocket-sized cards preventing a possible coronavirus outbreak, they'll most likely be sticking around until the pandemic is in the rearview mirror.
They saved our residents from a possible horrible situation, and so we support it totally.
In Neodesha, Kansas, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The Sensible Solutions spokeswoman also says the scratch and sniff cards are cost-effective ways for organizations to screen for COVID-19 because they act as an in-between for actual coronavirus tests. Cancer patients in remission or not undergoing treatments face significantly higher risk of severe illness if they contract COVID-19, according to a new study from the University of Pennsylvania. Cancer patients are more than twice as likely to need hospitalization compared to non-cancer patients, and about 13% more likely to die shortly after a COVID diagnosis. A new analysis from Brigham and Women's Hospital and the Mayo Clinic finds women younger than 55 with type 2 diabetes are 10 times more likely to develop coronary heart disease. Researchers say after following 28,000 women for decades, the trend is that younger and younger women will have heart attacks. An analysis in the British Medical Journal finds antidepressants are largely ineffective for long-term chronic back pain and osteoarthritis, despite being widely prescribed for those conditions. And a trial of the arthritis drug tocilizumab in patients with severe COVID-19 was stopped early due to an increased number of deaths among those receiving the drug. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Chris, that fog is beginning to develop. Visibility numbers dropping below a mile, especially up to the northwest, where we've got Iola and Chanute and Independence all below 1.0. It does get a little bit better in southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma, but give yourself a lot of extra time this morning.
What to expect from President Joe Biden's first full day in the White House. Plus, authorities search for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM. And a Coffeyville football coach has died of COVID-19 complications.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:30. I'm Chris Warner. Coming up this half hour for our morning talker, we're asking, did you watch the inauguration yesterday, and how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration and how a family got creative for their beloved father's friends, feathered friends rather. But first, a check on that forecast.
All right, Chris, we're looking at the far northwestern section of the four states. That line right there, Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, Independence, where our visibility numbers, they're getting worse as the patchy fog grows. Southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, so far so good, but we're going to expect later development here for those areas. Freeman Health System sky camera, 41 degrees. No surprise that humidity is going to be high since we're talking about fog. Cloud cover locked us in. We are dry. 40 in Carthage, 41 in Miami. Let's roll 31 in Parsons, so our temperature's kind of all over the place. And one reason for that is a little bit of that wind shift. You see the arrow in Chanute and Independence going to feed some cooler temperatures compared to where the winds are in Grove and Joplin. Now, granted, we're only talking 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're not going to be blustery by any means, as really Midwest is going to remain quiet for today. Now, the clouds, they are going to prohibit us from seeing a whole lot of sunshine. Still able to make it up into the mid-50s, though. And we ride into the weekend with seasonable, if not above average temps for the end of January. Big development begins on Sunday and takes us into what is not only a chilly next week, but active week, with not only rain, but also some snow showing up. So take advantage of these next 4 beautiful January days.
I think your big development, that and a lack of coffee, is making it where I can't read this morning. Seems to be a difficulty I'm facing right now.
I call that a day that ends in Y for me.
That's at least, what, 3 days of the week?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes the words formulate, sometimes they don't. I've had viewers call me out and be like, I think you just made that word up. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I did.
Yeah, sometimes that's what we've got to do, you know? I mean, we can't read what that says. We'll fill it in.
If you can determine what word I meant to say from context clues, I'm like, I got close.
Yeah, that's good enough, right? People understand. They know what we're doing. Michael, thank you so much. Well, President Joe Biden begins his first full day in the White House today as the nation's 46th president. In his inauguration speech yesterday, President Biden focused on the need for unity after the U.S. Capitol riots and as the nation struggles with the coronavirus. A big theme in President Biden's inaugural address was one of bringing the country together in unity. And that's one thing that students at Pittsburgh State University would like to see happen. The Student Diversity Office at the university had the inauguration on TV all day so students could come in and watch between classes. Missouri woman turned herself in to face charges over her role in the riots at the U.S. Capitol. Emily Hernandez attended a virtual court hearing and turned herself in to the FBI office in St. Louis on Tuesday. The 21-year-old was seen inside of the Capitol during the riots on January the 6th. She is facing several federal charges, including knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds and disorderly conduct. She was seen on video helping to destroy a sign with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's name on it. Hernandez was released after no bond was set. The judge says she must remain in Missouri until her next court date in Washington, D.C. That court hearing has not been scheduled. Authorities are looking for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM while on furlough by a judge. Police say Benjamin Whitaker escaped from Montgomery County, Kansas after being released on furlough. He's also a person of interest after police in Parsons, Kansas found an ATM chained to a pickup truck near the Labette Bank on Main Street. Police say the truck was reported stolen earlier along with 2 guns. Whitaker is considered armed and dangerous. Police say an undisclosed amount of cash was stolen from the ATM. A Joplin business is warning people about a fake Facebook page that is asking for money. The owners of Olive and Fig say there's a fake Facebook page of their business which made a post telling people they could win a gift after they register personal information. Apparently, people's bank accounts are now being charged.
You just wonder why people end up in those situations where they have to do those things to get money, and they feel like they have to wrong people to do that.
Security experts say it's a good idea to call the number listed on a Facebook page to make sure the page is legit, especially before entering personal information for contests. Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the loss of Aaron Flores, the head football coach of Coffeyville Community College. Officials say Flores passed away from COVID-19 complications. He was 50 years old. A couple in Kansas passed away from COVID-19 just hours apart. But as Deb Ferris reports, this is more than just a story of great loss. It's a great love story, and one you won't soon forget.
Just full of love and happiness.
Sherilyn Hoffman adored her father, Brett Stevenson, and his wife, Carol.
They got married later in life after previous marriages, and so I think they finally found their love match.
Married for 9 years, the couple spent their time together celebrating life. Bert was a recovered alcoholic for 39 years. But that didn't stop him from having fun.
They would be sleeping in because they were out till the bar closed.
But over Christmas, Bert and Carol came down with COVID-19, each in and out of the hospital in Salina for nearly 2 weeks. But the virus was just too much.
They put them in the same ICU room on Friday morning on comfort care.
Together in life, Carol and Bert died just 2 hours apart. Sherilyn capturing this picture as they passed away holding hands, together in death.
COVID is real. I feel like people need to wear a mask. You need to take it into your heart that it's not just about you, not to be selfish.
Now, the family plans a celebration this summer when they hope life will be a bit more normal. The Pittsburgh Police and Fire Departments faced off yesterday in the kitchen for the annual Battle of the Badges. Every year, the two departments compete in a chili cook-off, all while encouraging people to donate blood while they're there. The American Red Cross hosts the event to restock their blood supply. Because of the pandemic, this year's event was by appointment only.
Well, they can expect to get here if we're back. Sometimes they have to wait a little bit, but they can expect to have a good time, some good food. And, most of the donors know each other, too, because we're all local people. So there's a lot of camaraderie here, too.
The blood drive and chili cook-off will continue today from 9 to 2. The winning department in the cook-off gets a trophy and, of course, the biggest thing, bragging rights. Well, new owners of the Oklahoma Zoo featured in Tiger King must hand over their lion cubs to the federal government. That's an order from that a federal judge gave the Greater Wynnewood Exotic Animal Park. Now, a lawsuit alleges animals at the facility are subject to unsanitary conditions, inadequate nutrition, and poor veterinary care. The judge ordered the federal government to hand custody of all the zoo's lion cubs that are 1 year old and younger, along with their mothers. The animals will remain in federal custody until the lawsuit is settled. The Greater Wynnewood Exotic Animal Park is in Garvin County, Oklahoma. It was showcased in Netflix's popular documentary, Tiger King. And that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, how a pet duck got his mobility back with his own set of wheels. Plus, a blast in Spain's capital has left at least 3 people dead. We'll have the latest. But first, it is 5:37.
With the development of our patchy fog, it's going to be a little bit difficult in low-lying areas. Make sure you slow down. Headlights on low beams. Temperatures able to make it up into the 50s later on this afternoon. World Watch is next.
Topping World Watch this morning, reaction is coming in from world leaders as Joe Biden officially becomes the President of the United States. Greg Palcott has the story from London.
Inauguration of Joe Biden to what's called the most important job in the world.
We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security.
Music to the ears of allies which have had their differences with the old administration, as well as some who were friendly.
I look forward to working with him and with his new administration, strengthening the partnership between our countries.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sent greetings.
I wish you the greatest success. God bless the United States of America. God bless Israel.
As American foes look for an opening, Iran hoping the Biden administration will sign up again to their nuclear deal.
The ball is in the court of the US and Washington. If they go back and fulfill their commitments, we'll fulfill ours.
China, which jousted with the Trump administration to the end, is also looking for a break.
I hope China and the U.S. could meet each other halfway in the spirit of mutual respect.
And a spokesman for Russian President Vladimir Putin is hoping for, quote, good relations with his successor, amid more signs of global challenges. Pope Francis praying for President Biden to work towards a society marked by true justice, freedom, and dignity for every person. And supporters of the Paris Climate Agreement, which the president is rejoining, are calling for school curriculum mandates to teach kids to hold their governments accountable.
Well, despite the feel-good nature of President Biden's inaugural address, there are early signs his administration might take a tough line, at least with its adversaries. A blast in the heart of Spain's capital has left at least 3 people dead and several others injured. One person has been taken to the hospital. The mayor says it seems there was a gas explosion. There were concerns about an elderly residence nearby, but it has been confirmed that no one there was hurt and the building was evacuated. FedEx plans to cut jobs in Europe. The delivery company announced Tuesday it would reduce its European workforce by about 6,000. FedEx said the layoffs will affect operational teams and back office functions. The company expects the cost of these severance benefits to total more than $500 million. Oxygen bottles, broken tents, ropes, cans, plastic wrappers, and more are all turning into a work of art thanks to a new initiative on Mount Everest. Years of garbage left behind by climbers has turned the nearly 30,000-foot peak into a dumping ground. But a new initiative hopes to highlight the garbage issue and put it to a stop. Local and foreign artists collecting trash and turning it into works of art. The pieces made entirely of garbage collected along Mount Everest Trail will be displayed at a gallery on the peak's main trail. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Now, we're going to toss it over to Michael for something to talk about.
Thank you, Chris. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll asking if you watched the inauguration and how you feel about the incoming Biden administration. We'll begin our comments off with Ken Blakemore. Ken writes us, I didn't watch it, had to work. I'm undecided, but hopeful on the new administration. I would like to see term limits on Congress and Senate. John Hood, he's already looking forward to the next election with a 2024. Ronnie David says, worst day ever in history. And Guy Hansen says, an empty suit stuffed with foreign money, leaving a trail of paper-play schemes all around the globe, lays out a path for a Marxist-style tyranny on day one, increases dependency on foreign energy, gives China and India a pass on climate change while planning to strangle our domestic fossil fuel supplies. He finishes off by saying Joe even managed to bungle the oath of office and actually bumbled completely past part of it. Not that it means that much anyway. Enjoy. Now, as far as our Insta poll goes this morning, you go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Right now, 54% of you saying pessimistic about the Biden administration compared to 42% that say hopeful. We want to hear your voice, whether it be Facebook or our Insta poll. Be back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Neosho, Missouri man dies in a single vehicle wreck last night. It happened around 9, about 6 miles west of Neosho, Missouri. Highway Patrol says 40-year-old Jeremiah Durbin was heading west on Old US 60 when his vehicle left the right side of the road, hit a tree, and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities are looking for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM while on furlough by a judge. Police say Benjamin Whitaker escaped from Montgomery County, Kansas after being released on furlough. He's also a person of interest after police in Parsons found an ATM chained to a pickup truck near the Labette Bank on Main Street. Police say the truck was reported stolen earlier along with 2 guns. Whitaker is considered armed and dangerous. Police say an undisclosed amount of cash was stolen from the ATM. Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the loss of Aaron Flores, the head football coach of Coffeyville Community College. Officials say Flores passed away from COVID-19 complications. He was 50 years old. President Joe Biden begins his first full day in the White House today as the nation's 46th president. In his inauguration speech yesterday, President Biden focused on the need for unity after the U.S. Capitol riots and as the nation struggles with the coronavirus. That's the check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Fog is what we're concentrating on early Thursday morning as we push up into the northwest, slipping below half a mile in both Chanute and Independence and then less than a mile in Iola. We're also seeing the fog begin to grow in the central portions of the 4 states. So please know that even if you're out in southwest Missouri right there, where it's pretty clear that it is going to be around till about 8-9 a.m. Speaking of that time frame, sunrise at 7:28 over Joplin on our day planner. Mostly cloudy to start with, just a little southerly breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour coming out of the southwest, and that will feed us some warmer temperatures for today and keep us on the dry side. Little peak of afternoon sunshine as we move into Friday and then drop down close to freezing again. But Friday is shaping up to be very, very seasonable. As a matter of fact, take advantage here of really the next 4 days, whether it be temperature or sunshine, because it's going to be a marvelous latter third of January. Marvelous, that is, until we get to the beginning of next week. We've got a little bit of everything headed our way. Some rain, a cold front, even some snow here as we get ready to close out January. And of course, you can always find the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
Pet parents would do anything for their furry friends. Owen Kingsley introduces you to a couple in Corinna who have gotten creative for their feathered ones.
As soon as I come out, they hear me and they're just so loud. They're like, oh, she's coming.
This household is home to 2 quirky pets, Rye and Mouthy, a pair of ducks. And their owners, April and Sean Sousa in Corinna, go above and beyond your average pet parent. Rye is named after his condition, Rye neck, causing him trouble holding his own head up. But that didn't stop April and Sean from bringing him home.
I'm not going to turn down, an animal that needs help.
Rye also has a weight issue that puts stress on his legs, causing him to lose balance when he walks.
He wasn't catching himself, so he's kind of like toppling over. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was looking on ideas online and found chicken wheelchairs. So I'm like, I bet I can do that with ducks.
So she did, out of some basic pipes, some wheels, and a converted dog harness.
It's kind of a physical therapy thing, so until I can see that he can walk on it without having troubles. He's definitely strengthened up just the past 3 days of using it.
There you go. You are mobile, buddy.
And now Rye can go wherever Mouthy goes together.
So before we toss it over to Michael, first I was talking about Yelvis. He says that ducks go quack. I don't know. I think they go quack, but he says quack. And I feel like Craig Ferguson. I don't know if people at home realize this, but this camera is about 1.5 feet away. So you know how he'd always come out and just be right up there?
Right.
I feel like I could do the same thing. Fix the tie, the whole 9 yards.
Hey, when you got the style that you do, you're sporting the vest and everything, I want everybody to see it. I want everybody to see how well dressed you are.
I don't know if anybody would really call this style, but I appreciate it. It makes me feel better in the morning.
Hey, look at me. I mean,
I think you look fantastic.
I just go black on black. That way, if I spill any coffee, I'm covered.
Good call. See, I wore a white shirt. That's not a good idea with coffee in the morning.
All right, Chris, on the old Facebook, the book, you can always go to @MichaelHayslip, KOAM, and that's the same video that you're going to find on your Skywatch weather app right there. Just talking about pretty seasonable temps. That's actually from Tuesday, but I got the new one up. Don't worry about that. It's up and rocking and rolling. Also, too, our something to talk about this morning, as asking if you watched the inauguration and how you feel about the incoming administration. We'll pick back up with Chad Williamson, who says, nope, didn't watch it, didn't care. Rayshawn Corbett says, we as Americans are doomed. Better put on your riding gear because it's going to be a one wild ride for the next 4 years. Robin Gilmore says, I did not. Who wants to see a bumbling idiot speak to flag? She says, not me. Mark Graves wants to impeach Biden. And Michelle Pacini with a little good morning KOAM and Mama. Good morning, Michelle. She says, Michael, you need to answer this, please. We all know the process of incoming and outgoing, saying this. Trump, in one of his last tweets, stated he would not be attending the inauguration. And it's not up to the president-elect to send out invitations. It's all just part of a peaceful transfer of power that they just all show up. I know he was not the first outgoing president not to attend. Michelle, that is exactly correct. As a matter of fact, it was 100 years ago that Woodrow Wilson did not actually attend the inauguration of Warren G. Harding. Now, Wilson was in Washington. He just did not attend because of poor health. And then you have to go back to about Andrew Johnson, and I believe it was about 1869, who did not attend the inauguration of the incoming president. He decided to hold a cabinet meeting, even though it was just about not to be president. So you're right, Michelle, it has happened. I think it's happened about 5 or 6 times in the past. Just been a long time since we actually saw it. On the KOAM News Now Insta poll this morning, 53% of you say you're pessimistic about the incoming Biden administration. 45% say hopeful. We want to hear your voice. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be right back after this. Foggy and mostly cloudy to begin our Thursday. Still going to have afternoon in the mid-50s. We'll update visibility when we return right after this.
What to expect from President Joe Biden's first full day in the White House. Plus, authorities search for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM. And a Coffeyville football coach has died of COVID-19 complications.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to the KOAM Morning News. Jesse, you know what time it is? It's 6 a.m. I am Chris Warner. Coming up this half hour, how cookies are providing comfort during the pandemic. And for our morning talker, we're asking, did you watch the inauguration yesterday? And how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration? You can also vote in our Insta poll. That's at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. But first, here's a check of that forecast.
Here's what we're eyeballing this morning. We're looking at fog, Chris. Now, our visibility numbers that we've talked about up to the northwest there that have slipped below a mile, we had those earlier. What I want to point out here is what we're looking at in the central portion of the 4 states, because now we're seeing Girard, Oswego, Parsons. We're seeing those numbers go down. So as we work through the morning, the fog is going to increase throughout southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma as well. Freeman Health System sky camera, 41 degrees is where we sit. Pretty comfortable, I mean, for a January morning. Heavy cloud cover kind of locked us in, made sure our temperatures stayed pretty stable. And wide ranging, though. We're talking about 41s in Neosho and Anderson compared to 30 right now in Independence. But by the time we get into the afternoon, we'll get rid of some of the fog, get a little peak of sunshine later on, and make it up into the mid-50s. So it's going to be absolutely delightful for the end of the work week. And Future Track's going to keep us dry, not only for Thursday, but also Friday and Saturday as well. As a matter of fact, we really won't have to worry about any precipitation showing up until we get to Sunday. Now, once we do, well, we're going to close out January in good old-fashioned Mother Nature-like fashion, as we're going to have everything from rain to a cold front to some snow. But with all that being said, take advantage of the next 4 days.
Take advantage of the next 4 days. And
gorgeous.
I'm a little concerned. Jesse here didn't seem to know what time it was.
Wait, and by the way,
now he's showing.
We're talking about Jesse Connolly, who's behind. I didn't want people to get confused.
That's true.
So you were calling out Irwin.
That's true. Well, and here's the deal. I don't know if Jesse Irwin knows what time it is right now.
That's a good point.
I don't know what time it is. That's why they write it in there. But Jesse, I look to him for guidance here.
That's why I keep that sheet clock up there on the Skywatch Weather Center.
Now it is 6:02 and 40 seconds. Michael, thank you so much. President Joe Biden begins his first full day in the White House today as the nation's 46th president. In his inauguration speech yesterday, President Biden focused on the need for unity after the U.S. Capitol riots and as the nation struggles with the coronavirus. And of course, that speech, again, all about unity, calling on all Americans to work together to overcome the obstacles we face today. KOAM's Zach Dodge has how that message resonated with some students at Pittsburgh State University and what local representatives hope will happen now.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people.
A message of unity from Joe Biden moments after he was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. One that gives Pittsburgh State University student Jared Bush hope for what's to come.
It seems like we're headed in a good direction. hopefully we can just continue to improve. But yes, this inauguration was very exciting.
Students came in and out of the Office of Diversity throughout the morning watching history unfold.
I felt very hopeful to see such a large amount of change in just the atmosphere and people, and the sense of hope that things in this country can get a lot better.
Another exciting moment for students and Vice President of Student Affairs, Deetra Rose, Kamala Harris being sworn in as the first female vice president in history.
So help me God. So help me God. It just shows that even in 2021, we are still breaking ground, but we still have a lot of work to do.
It's such a huge groundbreaking moment for us to witness history.
Republican Representative Ken Collins, who was at the Capitol in Topeka and plans to watch the inauguration later on, hopes the president's message of hope is more than just words.
He's calling for people to work together, reach across the aisle, talk to the people on the other side, which I think is great. And he is our president and now, so we should pray for him. We should hope the best, and we should, just like any other elected official, you know, if you agree with what's going on, let them know. If you don't agree, let them know that too.
In Pittsburgh, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
A Neosho, Missouri man dies in a single vehicle wreck last night. It happened around 9, about 6 miles west of Neosho. Missouri Highway Patrol says 40-year-old Jeremiah Durbin was heading west on Old US 60 when his vehicle left the right side of the road, hit a tree, and overturned. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities are looking for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM while on furlough by a judge. Police say Benjamin Whitaker escaped from Montgomery County, Kansas after being released on furlough. He's also a person of interest after police in Parsons found an ATM chained to a pickup truck near the Labette Bank on Main Street. Police say the truck was reported stolen earlier along with 2 guns. Whitaker is considered armed and dangerous. Police say an undisclosed amount of cash was stolen from the ATM. Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the loss of Aaron Flores, the head football coach of Coffeyville Community College. Officials say Flores passed away from COVID-19 complications. He was 50 years old. NEO A&M College in Miami and Northeast Tech in the town of Kansas, Oklahoma are partnering to create a fast-track nursing program. Yesterday, the school signed a memorandum of understanding to develop the program. It would allow graduates of Northeast Tech to pursue an associate nursing degree from NEO at Northeast Tech's campus.
Both understanding what Northeastern Oklahoma needs, we have this fast track program here on our campus, and so this is a pathway forward for us to create another fast track to help the LPNs be able to obtain the RN.
The partnership would allow for 10 students to be part of the fast track program annually. It is now 6:07.
Now, despite the fact that we're going to get a little afternoon sunshine and work up into the 50s, afternoon's going to be delightful. Really want to turn our attention to what we have developing right now. Starting to see fog develop outside the mothership, so anticipate those visibility numbers for the central portion of the 4 states to decrease throughout the next several hours and then work its way into southwest Missouri as well. Still seeing that line there from Independence, Chanute, Iola that are already below a mile. Remember, a lot of room between you and other drivers. Headlights on low beams, please.
And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, why Disney executive chairman and other executives are seeing a massive pay cut amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Plus, the latest on a new study that suggests even marijuana abuse can have deadly consequences. And how cookies are helping with comfort during the pandemic. You are watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Big changes are coming to the TV streaming world, and why the Hall of Presidents was shut down on the day President Biden was sworn in. Daniel Bacchus has today's Eye on Entertainment report.
Disney has confirmed that it's adding President Biden's likeness to the Magic Kingdom's Hall of Presidents in Florida. The hall features all of the United States presidents and traces the nation's history. The show closed for refurbishment on Wednesday. It's unclear when it will reopen. Disney has also announced a start date for The Muppet Show and its streaming service. Fans can watch all 5 seasons starting on February 19th. For many viewers, it will be their first chance to see seasons 4 and 5. For a variety of reasons, they have never been released on home video or video on demand. And Viacom-CBS has set a date for the launch of its new streaming service, Paramount Plus. It's set to go live in the U.S. on March 4th with content from across the company's news, sports, and entertainment divisions. CBS All Access, its current service, is being folded into Paramount Plus. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Disney Executive Chairman Bob Iger and other executives seeing a massive pay cut amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Iger's pay dropped 56% to $21 million last year. This as the company failed to meet some performance metrics. Executive bonuses were cut as well. Disney has laid off more than 32,000 workers in the last year as its parks and cruise lines face shutdowns due to the ongoing pandemic. Harry Brandt, a rising model and young son of supermodel Stephanie Seymour and billionaire businessman Peter Brandt, has died. His family released a statement to the New York Times announcing Brandt died of an accidental overdose of prescription drugs on Sunday. They said in part, quote, "His life was cut short by this devastating disease. He was truly a beautiful person inside and out." Brandt began making a name for himself as a style setter when he was a teenager. He appeared in Italian Vogue and in campaigns for the fashion house Balmain. Brandt had previously released a unisex makeup line with his brother, Peter Brandt Jr. His parents reportedly said their son, who had been struggling with addiction for several years, had been planning to enter rehab in the near future. Harry Brandt was 24 years old. Justin Timberlake and his wife, actress Jessica Biel, have a new addition to their family. A 39-year-old singer-actor confirms Biel gave birth to a son they named Phineas. Timberlake made the announcement during a virtual appearance on Ellen DeGeneres' show. The couple, who were married in 2012, also have a 5-year-old son named Silas. According to Timberlake, Silas is very much liking being a big brother. Timberlake also joked that there's little sleep in the household, but that everyone is thrilled. In the Oval Office, Michael, there you are. It's so good to see you this morning.
Well, Chris, in the Oval Office, and we'll tie this into our something to talk about, President Biden signed more than a dozen executive actions, including a nationwide mandate requiring masks on federal property. He also signed an action calling for the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. Senate confirmed Avril Haines, the president's pick for Director of National Intelligence. On the KOAM News Now Facebook page this morning, our question, also part of our Insta poll, if you watched the inauguration yesterday, and how you feel about the incoming Biden administration. We'll start with our Insta poll. Well, right now, 56% of you say you feel pessimistic about the incoming administration, compared to 42% who say hopeful. You can let us know what you think by going to komnewsnow.com/vote. As far as our comments go on our morning Insta poll or morning Facebook page, there we go. We got to do that, folks, just so I can turn around. I don't like to put my back to the camera. Lisa Schuler says, watching Trump walk out of the White House for the last time was a happy moment for me. Kind of like taking the trash out itself. She says, let the healing begin. John Trebian says, absolutely not. He's not my president. Now America is going to have to pay for what they've done. God bless our country. Good morning, America. Good morning, John. Del Evans says, yes, watched it. Very happy day in America. Jenny Caldwell Westbrook. She goes the exact opposite. She says, dark day in America. Appreciate all the engagement. Keep on sending them in via Facebook or our Insta poll. We'll be back with Money Watch right after this.
In Money Watch this morning, as people turn to food to help cope during the pandemic, cookies are providing some comfort. Shoot, we could have told you that. Reporter Elise Preston explains.
I'm going to start.
Grace Seeger's Kentucky Kitchen isn't just for feeding her family. It's blended into a business for custom-made cookies, including her popular vanilla sugar cookies.
I use real vanilla extract. That's kind of the secret.
The recipe is generating revenue. Since the start of the pandemic, she's been selling about 20 dozen cookies a week. Grace used to fill large orders for baby showers and weddings, but now people in search of a treat are placing smaller orders, a product shift that's more time intensive.
Everyone wants a personalized dozen for their special someone because they can't have a party or because they can't go anywhere.
Cookie makers big and small are seeing a boost in business. The group Top Data says demand for cookies is up 25% during the pandemic. In fact, 1 in 5 Americans admit eating more than 3 cookies a day.
It's just me making everything, so it's definitely busy in my kitchen.
When shutdowns began, Utah cookie maker Janica Mundy worried about her business, but orders for her do-it-yourself cookie decorating kits actually doubled.
Why do you think cookies have become so popular?
Desserts, sugar, anything that tastes good is something that people want to bring to the kitchen and want to bring their family towards during this pandemic because it's a comfort.
A comfort that's made sales sweet for cookie makers. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Wall Street hit new record highs on Wednesday. The Dow jumping 257 points, the Nasdaq gained 260, the S&P 500 added 52. The major indexes steadily rose throughout the day as President Biden's inauguration went off without any security issues. Traders are hoping the new Democratic leadership in the White House and in Congress will deliver economic relief to Americans struggling from the coronavirus pandemic. Amazon says it wants to help President Biden reach his goal of vaccinating 100 million people in 100 days. In a letter to the new administration obtained by Reuters, the company said it's prepared to leverage its operations, information technology, and communications capabilities to assist in the vaccination effort. That's it for Money Watch. Here's Michael now with that check of the forecast.
Thank you, Chris. We've got heavy cloud cover on the Skywatch storm tracker remaining on the dry side. A little anomaly picked up right there by the sweeping radar. But really, the entire Midwest is dry. What we're focused on this Thursday morning is our fog. Starting to see this line right here cause big problems visibility-wise from Independence, Chanute, and Iola. Everybody dipping below a mile right there. Independence hanging on to just 1/10 of a mile. And now we're seeing this secondary line, Welch, Oswego, Girard, those numbers beginning to dip as well. And so we'll see the fog grow from west to east right here. Southwest Missouri visibility, Miami, Grove looking very, very good. That's for the time being. Want everybody to anticipate that's going to grow here in the next hour or so. Freeman Health System Sky Camera, it's a comfortable January morning, 41 degrees. That's really hard to beat. Cooler on that line where we do see the fog compared to all the 41s throughout southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma. Wind tracker coming in from the southwest for the most part. Then we get our flip where we see the cooler temperatures. Nice thing is we're just going to roll 5 to 10 miles per hour today, not have to put up with any of those 30-mile-an-hour gusts that we have had every now and then. But we do have some wind chills that have dropped down to the 20s, and then Mount Vernon hanging on to 32. Sunrise on the bus stop forecast at 7:28. Really no worries for the kids. Just be careful in your neighborhood. Remember, with that fog and everything, they're not wary of that like we need to be as adults and drivers. Split on the jet stream on the western side of the Rockies is taking all the rain, carrying it to the south of us. It's already pushed to the mid-Atlantic. No really flooding concerns for them, so that's good news. And our future track keeps us dry and clear, not only for today, but all the way into the weekend. We're talking about a gorgeous latter third of January here, and at least until Sunday into Monday. Look at these big changes we got coming next week. So give yourself a chance to get outside and take advantage of these above average temperatures. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, many young people who suffer from mood disorders like depression or anxiety also use drugs. A new study suggests even marijuana abuse can have deadly consequences. Mandy Gaither explains.
Young people and teens with mood disorders who use and abuse marijuana have a higher risk of self-harm, death by all causes, and death by unintentional overdose and homicide. That's according to a new study published in the medical journal JAMA Pediatrics, led by researchers at Ohio State University.
These findings were pretty concerning and alarming to us.
Cynthia Fontanella, the study's lead author, says marijuana use was documented in more than 10% of the over 204,000 young people and teens with mood disorders who were studied. The group consisted of people aged 10 to 24. She says use was significantly higher among those who are older, male, Black, those who have bipolar disorder or have a prior history of hurting themselves or have been hospitalized for psychiatric treatment. While the study can't say marijuana caused the higher risk of death, Fontanella says it's associated.
The general perception is that marijuana use is okay and the attitude is that it's not harmful. So that's concerning.
The researchers say marijuana use can also worsen symptoms and interfere with successful mood disorder treatment, but decreasing use may reduce the risk. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
These researchers are now studying medical marijuana and recreational marijuana laws and how they affect death rates when it comes to youth with severe mental illness. Well, there's a new product that's helping healthcare providers fight COVID-19, and the company making it is based in Parsons, Kansas. The new coronavirus screening tool has already helped prevent an outbreak in a nursing home in Neodesha. They're using a new kind of scratch and sniff card made by Sensible Solutions to determine if an employee or resident's sense of smell is intact when they try to come on property.
The scratch and sniff tests have shown that people are asymptomatic with every other symptom. They don't have fever, they don't have a cough, they don't have shortness of breath, but they suddenly realize they've lost their sense of smell, or their sense of smell has changed in some way.
The scratch and sniff testing cards have already helped Morningstar staff sniff out an employee who came down with the coronavirus. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows more than 16.5 million coronavirus vaccine doses have been administered in the United States so far. That's about 46% of the 36 million doses that have been distributed. Nearly 2.1 million people have received both of the required doses, and at least 14 million people have received at least the first dose. Let's look at today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Overcast Thursday morning, but that also keeps our temperatures very, very mild. We're sitting anywhere from the freezing point to the low 40s right now. Can't beat that. We'll make it all the way up into the mid 50s here this afternoon. Just going to have to wait for a little peak of sunshine. The clouds will decrease from north to south. Also, too, don't forget about the patchy fog that we've got developing. It's going to spread from west to east. Already seeing quite a bit of it up in the northwest. Going to make its way into southwest Missouri and northeast Oklahoma here in the next hour or so. Delightful weekend ahead. Temperatures either right at or above where they should be for the latter third of January. Big changes. Don't worry about those till next week.
What to expect from President Joe Biden's first full day in the White House. Plus, authorities search for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM. And a Coffeyville football coach has died of COVID-19 complications.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6:30. I'm Chris Warner. Coming up this half hour, Joe Biden was sworn in as the nation's 46th president yesterday. For our morning talker, we're asking, did you watch the inauguration yesterday? And how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration? You can participate in our Insta poll at koamnewsnow.com/vote. Plus, what President Biden is scheduled to unveil as a national COVID strategy today. But first, check out that forecast.
It was simply a matter of time, Chris, before we saw some advisories associated with decreased visibility make their way onto the map. I'm going to point out that line right there from Independence, Chanute, Iowa. Indy has just been soaked in fog all morning long, and just recently being issued by the National Weather Service, a dense fog advisory stretching all the way until 11 a.m. for the indicated counties in southwest Missouri. We are going to see the fog grow as well into southwest Missouri here as we make our way through the morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, heavy cloud cover, Freeman Health System Sky Camera. Nice thing about cloud cover, 41 degrees. Can't beat that for, latter third of January. A little bit cooler where we're seeing the fog. Don't have to worry about any of it freezing over, though. We've been the recipient of nice warm temperatures that have kept our ground well above that freezing mark here for the last couple of days. Not as windy as what we've had either. So it's actually a chance to get out and enjoy temperatures that'll be in the 50s and not have to worry about getting knocked over when you turn the corner there with the good southwest wind. Just going to take a while before we get a little peak of sunshine. Then overnight, headed back down to the freezing mark, but setting up for a nice weekend. Throw up some high 40s, low 50s, mid 50s there on Saturday and Sunday. Then we can talk about Monday through Wednesday. We'll start talking about Monday through Wednesday here tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it now.
Worry about it later. The thing you do need to worry about, though, is that fog. I mean, 0 It's what your map showed for Independence is visibility. Can you imagine if we got into negative fog numbers?
And so
there?
the interesting thing about Independence too is the fog actually started to develop at Independence Airport. Went back and looked at their reports. You can really go back to about 1 a.m. is when it started to develop there. Now we're seeing it spread, but yeah, down to zero.
Man, talk about some fog. You want to definitely take it easy on the roads this morning.
Low beams.
Low beams.
Low beams.
Low beams, go slow. Plenty of space in between. Got to
Thank
be
you.
safe. Michael, thank you so much. President Joe Biden begins his first full day in the White House today as the nation's 46th president. In his inauguration speech yesterday, President Biden focused on the need for unity after the U.S. Capitol riots and as the nation struggles with the coronavirus. Authorities are looking for a man accused of trying to steal an ATM while on furlough by a judge. Police say Benjamin Whitaker escaped from Montgomery County, Kansas after being released on furlough. He's also a person of interest after police in Parsons found an ATM chained to a pickup truck near the Labette Bank on Main Street. Police say the truck was reported stolen earlier along with 2 guns. Whitaker is considered armed and dangerous. Police say an undisclosed amount of cash was stolen from the ATM. A Joplin business is warning people about a fake Facebook page that is asking for money. The owners of Olive and Fig say there's a fake Facebook page of their business which made a post telling people that they could win a gift after they register personal information. Well, apparently, people's bank accounts are now being charged. Security experts say it's a good idea to call the number listed on a Facebook page to make sure the page is legit, especially before entering personal information for contests. Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the loss of Aaron Flores, the head football coach of Coffeyville Community College. Officials say Flores passed away from COVID-19 complications. He was 50 years old. States have begun moving into the next steps of their COVID-19 vaccine distribution plans, but plenty of people are wondering how they'll know when they're eligible to receive the shot. We spoke to officials and providers in Missouri on what you need to know. Missouri announced it was moving into the next steps of COVID vaccine distribution. However, there's not any vaccine available yet. But that hasn't stopped the Joplin Health Department from starting to make plans.
We're waiting on the vaccine. Once we get that, we will put out a series of press releases letting everybody know where the site is, what groups are currently eligible at that time, how to sign up, so on.
The Newton County Health Department doesn't have any vaccine yet either, but they're hopeful some will be in soon.
We have been able to make our first order. We have ordered over 400 doses of vaccine and don't know how many of those we will get. We're hoping to get the full allotment and don't know the exact date of when we'll receive it. I hope that we'll receive it next week.
Newton County has also been making plans for distribution.
So the public can now register to receive the vaccination by going to our website, newtoncountyhealth.org. And we have a space there that you can send an email to administration.
Then they play the waiting game for the vaccine to arrive.
Once we receive the vaccine, those who are registered, we will make phone calls to let them know that we have the vaccine and here's the date that we're offering you that vaccine.
Missouri also has a number of registered distributors, which include pharmacy chains like Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS, and locally owned pharmacies like Stone's Corner. They also have an online registration option.
So as soon as we have the vaccine, we will be contacting people to let them know that we have the vaccine, we'd like to get you scheduled, and then give them time slots so that we can efficiently move people in and out. And so they will know as soon as it becomes available.
Pharmacist and owner Chad Isaac says there's an alternative if you can't get online.
You know, if somebody is unable to go to our website, they're more than welcome to call us. We can walk through that. We can do those steps for them so that we can put in their information and they'll know that they're on our list and will be contacted when it's time.
Newton County has a similar offline option. Of course, we'll have links to contact information and resources regarding vaccines in this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Pittsburgh Police and Fire Departments faced off yesterday in the kitchen for the annual Battle of the Badges. Every year, the two departments compete in a chili cook-off, all while encouraging people to donate blood while they're there. The The American Red Cross hosts the event to restock their blood supply. Now, because of the pandemic, this year's event was by appointment only. The blood drive and chili cook-off will continue today from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The winning department in the cook-off gets a trophy and, more importantly, bragging rights. Let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The plan for fighting the virus.
Unveil his official plan to battle the coronavirus pandemic today. I'm Deborah Alfarone in Washington with details on the 10 executive orders we're expecting aimed squarely at COVID.
Plus, Joe Biden was sworn in as the nation's 46th president yesterday. For our morning talker, we're asking, did you watch the inauguration yesterday? And if so, how do you feel about the incoming Biden administration? We're going to let you weigh in. But first, it is 6:37.
As the fog increases, the visibility decreases, leading us to dense fog advisories for counties indicated in gray until 11 a.m. Still able to make it up into the mid-50s here later on. Just going to have to wait for a peak of sunshine until the afternoon. We'll be back with Nation Watch next.
Having Nation Watch this morning with the coronavirus death toll surpassing the 400,000 mark this week. President Biden is wasting no time dedicating his first full day in office to tackling the pandemic. He's expected to announce his official plan today for fighting the virus. Deborah Alfarone is in Washington with the details.
President Biden is scheduled to unveil a national COVID strategy today and sign 10 executive orders aimed directly at fighting the coronavirus. They'll be added to the mask mandate on federal property he set in motion right after his swearing in.
Mandating masks be worn, social distancing be kept on federal property, on interstate commerce, etc.
As part of the 10 executive orders on tap for today, those mask requirements will be extended to planes, trains, and other forms of public transportation. Other goals in the Biden plan include reopening most schools within the next 100 days, as well as taking a closer look at the health disparities in minority communities.
We're going to make sure we have some bedrock equity, equality as it relates to how we treat people on health care and other things.
Biden also plans to employ the use of stadiums and community centers in order to help hit his goal of 100 million vaccines in his first 100 days in office. Federal personnel will be deployed to help administer those shots.
This is not something that's going to be accomplished in the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to take most of the spring and summer.
Amazon, in a letter to the president, has joined a growing list of private companies offering to help with the effort. The tech giant wants to put its massive distribution network to work in getting the vaccine out as quickly and widely as possible. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Ride-sharing services Uber and Lyft have also offered their support. They, along with Amazon, are also asking that their employees be counted among the frontline workers first up to get the vaccine, since their drivers and warehouse staff are not able to work from home. In the Oval Office, the president signed more than a dozen executive actions, including a nationwide mandate requiring masks on federal property. He also signed an action calling for the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. The Senate confirmed Avril Haines, the president's pick for Director of National Intelligence. New York City officials had to postpone more than 20,000 COVID shots and close over a dozen vaccine hubs for 2 days because supplies are low. And some are encouraging some encouraging news. Goodness. A preliminary study shows the Pfizer vaccine appears to be effective against the highly contagious UK COVID strain that's already been detected in the U.S. That's a look at today's top national stories. We're going to check with Michael. I'm going to get some coffee so I can read straight again here.
I got you, my man.
I'm gonna need that coffee.
I got you.
I got
Chris, on the KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll asking if you watched the inauguration and how you feel about the incoming Biden administration. We'll resume our comments with Jan Blattner Campbell. Jan writes, no, couldn't watch the destruction of our country. Sad day for America and thousands who lost their jobs, but good day for illegals in China. Kim Jones did not watch, couldn't stomach watching the beginning of a train wreck, and Merle Bass says fraud. Judy Rudnick didn't watch it. Christy Charbonneau didn't watch it. Tony Stout asking, who is this Joe guy? And Colby Metcalf says the dozens of A-list celebrity performances were great. So was the jubilation and praise from European allies. Pence and McConnell skipping Trump's departure to attend the inauguration was particularly sweet. Watching the Q crowd dissolve into hysteria was my personal favorite, though. On our Insta poll this morning, 53% of you say you feel pessimistic about the incoming administration compared to 46% that say hopeful. Continue to update your poll. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Birthdays and anniversaries are next.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Keith Keltner, who served in the United States Army from 1953 to 54. He fought in the Korean War and was a member for the 57th Field Artillery Unit, his hometown, Liberal, Missouri. We are proud to salute Keith Keltner, a four-state hero.
List kicks off with a smiling Walker James Thompson, celebrating the big number 1 as the Pillsbury Doughboy, I believe. A happy birthday to WJT in Mound Valley.
We've got a happy belated birthday to Tyler Barnett, turning 5 yesterday in Webb City. I love that costume. Look at that.
I don't know if it's costume or whether he's just staying warm.
It could be both.
Either way, I like it.
It's good.
Not that I wouldn't have any of those in my closet, perhaps, Tyler.
I don't know that I do.
Wear it well, my man. In the Parsons, we got a pair of birthdays because it's not only Levi, but Lucas as well, as the Wells twins celebrate their 6th. Happy birthday, kiddos.
Addison Van Beesler turning 10 in Frontenac. Of course, this comes with love from Papa and Mimi. So happy 10th birthday, Addison.
It's an interesting story here about 10-year-old Stella Randall. Now, instead of gifts, Stella set out to help somebody else on her birthday, and she collected more than $325 in donations for our good friends at Golden Paw Animal Rescue. Stella, tremendous job by you. And special love from Mom and Dad.
It is incredible. Kids these days can do so much and go so far, and Stella, outstanding example of what kids can do. Well, we got to shout this one from the rooftops here. Hunter Cullum, turning 10 in Wichita, Kansas yesterday. His grandparents, however, reside right here in the four-state area, so they just wanted to make sure everybody knew. Hunter, turning 10 today. Happy birthday, Hunter.
Speaking of 10-year-olds, we would not forget Miss Presley Seabolt. Presley, welcome to double digits.
You know something I've never noticed until now? These birthdays are in numerical order of age. I've never paid attention to the list until today. So as we move on, we move up. Turning 11, John Hemrick from Humboldt. He's a 5th grader. Great photo there, John. I like that. See, here's the deal. He's not staying warm. He's not wearing a costume. I just like that shirt that he's got. That's a classy shirt, John.
Me too. Yeah,
very happy birthday to you.
Good dress dude. Sweet 16 for Lily Black. Lily, happy birthday. And I want you to know special wishes from Mom and Dad, Mary, Thomas, and Scotty. Have a great 16th, Lily.
Somebody who's just a few days past 17, Chase Langston of Parsons. He's looking pretty good for 17. If I look that good at 17.
Mom and Dad doing the throwback right there to get him.
That they are. Happy birthday to you, Chase, as you continue to age gracefully.
Shayla Bogle. Well, milestone right there. Miss Shayla turning 20. Have a great day. She's in Chanute.
Morgan Myers in Joplin, a belated birthday going out there, turning 21. I vaguely remember my 21st birthday. Shayla from Joplin. Sorry, Morgan. Goodness, now I'm going back a step. Morgan, happy 21st birthday. Make sure you get out there, you enjoy it.
We'll find out more about why he vaguely remembers his 21st birthday here. That'll be on the podcast. John Westerhold. Oh, nice. Now I'm thinking about breakfast. Josh, nice get right there. He's celebrating his 32nd in Sheldon.
Carrie Treiber turning 39 today in Chanute, and a Chiefs fan. Of course, who around here is not a Chiefs fan? She's on the right side here. Carrie, very happy birthday to you.
And Roger Rush, a happy 45th birthday. Coming off a fancy event right there. May have been a wedding. Happy birthday, Roger, in Jasper.
Jim Armstrong, his birthday yesterday, turning 65 in Moran, Kansas. And a very happy birthday from Brenda, Jenny, and Lori Woods. And a happy birthday from us, Jim.
And in Erie, Peggy Yarnell. Miss Peggy celebrating her 68th. Miss Yarnell, have a wonderful day.
Kay Phillips turning 85, looking great for 85. If I could look that great when I get that much older, I would be blessed. Kay, very blessed, turning 85 in Parsons yesterday.
And also Judy Grant, a happy birthday. Judy celebrating in Columbus.
We've got Jim and Sherry Burke, great looking couple there. And get this, 54 years of wedded bliss in Parsons yesterday. So happy anniversary, Jim and Sherry.
And one more anniversary for Orville and Betty Smith. The Smiths celebrating their 66th anniversary. Congratulations. Orville and Betty are in Cherokee.
All right, Griffin Beechner turning 9 yesterday in Carl Junction. Happy birthday, Griffin.
Party on in War Dog country. Party on.
Oh my goodness, I see what you are saying here.
All right, Harold Yarborough, a happy birthday in
Miami, Oklahoma.
Kim Lawrence, a very happy birthday to you in
Miami.
Jimmy Salter celebrating his 65th. You can say happy birthday to Jimmy if you're in
Miami.
Juanita Hale, I want you to have a marvelous birthday as well. By the way, Juanita resides in
Miami.
And Carol Daniels, a very happy birthday. Carol is in
Miami.
I'm telling you, party on in War Dog country, man. Janine Robinson, a happy birthday to Miss Janine. She is in Baxter Springs. Bill Reed, celebrating a birthday in Chetopa. Now, we return to Northeast Oklahoma. Grace Cunningham, a very happy birthday to you in
Miami.
Charles Patterson celebrates his 65th birthday. Charles is in
Miami.
And Linda Payton. Linda, I want you to have a marvelous birthday celebration, and the party commences in
Miami.
Now, here's Chris Warner with a very important birthday announcement.
You can send your birthdays to that email address you saw there. You can be part of the birthday club too. All you got to do is go to our website. You can sign up. You get special deals from local businesses. So what you need to do right now is go to KOAMnewsnow.com, sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
I want everybody to be extremely careful out there because of this dense patchy fog that continues to grow. We're going to have the latest on that update when we switch over to Fox 14. With that being said, that wraps it up for this edition. I want you to have a great, safe, marvelous Thursday. We'll do this all again tomorrow morning.